Hey guys, it's Nick from the Strength Students podcast. Today we are talking about anti-core training. Alright guys, so we're talking about anti-core training. What the hell is that? What are you guys talking about? What we're talking about is your core is there to resist movement. You have three movements, three planes of motion, okay? So there's extension, okay, lateral flexion, and rotation, all right? Those are the three planes we're gonna be talking about today when we talk about core training. All right, so anti-extension, this is very, very important. They're all important, but this one's more so than others. So we are a society that is stuck in extension, right? We sit a lot, whether you're commuting, whether you're sitting at your desk at your job, okay? We are stuck in extension. So watch the line of my pants and watch my rib cage, right? So this is an extended position. I have an anterior pelvic tilt. Think of your pelvis like a bowl of soup. It's kind of spilling all the liquid out, right? My rib cage is flared. This is turned off, right? Glutes are turned off. This is not a great position. You are in extension. You want to try to be able to bring these two together and resist extension, okay? If you're overextended, think of your vertebrae, right? If you're really in extension, right, you're really extended, your vertebrae are now stacked on top of each other. So if you go to do anything in any other plane, rotate, anything, it's gonna hurt. Vertebrae are stacked, and then you go to rotate, they're just right on top of each other. That's why you see a lot of guys hurt themselves. I'm not gonna talk about golf, but golfing, think of that. A guy who's a businessman, sits at a desk all day and then goes to play golf. My back hurts. Your vertebrae are shot, okay? They're put together like that. So, three movements we're gonna go over. These are progressions, regressions. Most progression and regression for anything, not just core stuff. Starts from the ground, goes up to standing, okay? So the first anti-extension movement is gonna be a dead bug, okay? I'm gonna demonstrate the dead bug with just my feet, just moving my legs, okay? So we'll head over to the wall here. So the reason why I'm doing just my legs is because I don't wanna worry about the hands and all that. The main focus is driving your low back into the floor. Because you'll see guys, let's see if we can get this here. Like if someone goes to a dead bug, right, they come up, right? I'm gonna press against the wall, so I have tension here. Now if I let my back go, get hands underneath here, right? Like if you're gonna get a hand underneath someone, my low back's not on the floor. I'm in that position that I just showed you standing. Now I'm just on the ground, right? This teaches you, the reason why we're on the ground is to cue low back driving into the floor. So we're here, right? And you're gonna just extend as best you can, keep that low back in contact. And come back. Okay? Don't think like you're trying to crush something underneath you. You have, what I used to do, or I still do, when I train people, I put my hand underneath their low back and I make them try to crush my hand. So if you need something there, like a yoga mat or something, just a little something thin, just a cue to drive your low back into the mat, do it, okay? Meanwhile, while I was doing that, I'm pressing into that wall as hard as I can. Think like a max effort push press, okay? Breathe, don't go fucking crazy, but push into the wall. So now from there, back into our patterns, right? We're going to progressions. On your back, now we're up to either tall kneel, which is both knees, or a half kneel, okay? I like the half kneel. This can be done with using the tricep rope for, you see on the machine sometimes, you use on a cable stack, or like I have here, I have a band and I have a pole. Simple, right? So I'm in a half kneel, all right? Again, I'm conscious of low back position. I'm not here. Think rib cage and pelvis. Pubic bone, sternum. I got that wrong. Touch these two together. These 2 points want to be crushed together, right? So you're here, Gonna be in a half kneel. As I press up, I'm driving rib cage down. I'm not gonna let that band pull me into extension. I'm gonna it's anti-extension. Anti, right? I'm resisting extension. So I'm pressing up. Here. With this, it doesn't really matter about the legs. You can switch legs. You can do 5 with this leg down, 5 with the other leg down, or you can just switch in between sets, right? So that are 2 of the anti-extension movements. Last one is a ball rollout, right? You see everyone doing the ab wheel. Some people, it's too extreme. They can't do the ab wheel, right? Which is fine. But if you can, go for it. This is just before that. So, I'm gonna sound like a broken record here. Sternum, pubic bone, together before I do anything. These 2 points are together, okay? I'm gonna slowly roll out, keeping those 2 points crushed down as far out as I can, comfortably, and then up. You don't wanna do this. You just lose everything back here. Or people don't bring their hips with them and they just do this, okay? If all your client or you can do is this with a proper ribcage position and get to here, that's all you can do, cool, hold for 5 seconds and come back. That's it, work this so you can progress to something more advanced. So those are our 3 anti-extension movements. Anti-rotation, okay? So this is the second thing we're talking about, right? Are you able to rotate? Sure. Can you resist rotation? Okay? That is a crucial part of core training. Rotation causes a lot of back injuries, all right? Things we had talked about, golf, repetitive athletes such as golfers or baseball players always have some sort of asymmetry or something going on. So being able to resist rotation, being able to rotate, stiffen your core, and get through that range of motion is important. So again, where are we starting? The floor. So just like our dead bug, we're doing a power-off press from the floor to get our low back to push into the floor to try to create some flexion, okay, of the lumbar spine. So power-off press on the floor. What does that look like? We'll be on our back, okay, and again, I'm not like this. You shouldn't be able to get a hand or anything underneath me. I should be locked down. Okay? I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna grab the bands, right in the center of my chest, right where my sternum is, and I'm gonna keep it on a straight line, I'm gonna punch it up. As I'm punching it up, I'm simultaneously forcing low back into the floor. Drive my low back into the floor, I'm not letting it go here, driving low back into the floor. Okay, so now that was on our back. Now we're gonna go to either tall kneel or half kneel, right? So tall kneel. You can do either one of these. Preferably it's tall kneel before half kneel, but whatever feels comfortable. You're gonna be here. Okay, again, center of my chest, right on my sternum. I'm gonna be here, punching out. Okay. There you go, half kneel. And then finally, standing. Nice wide base, feet are even. You're not staggered. You could do split stance, but for the standing one, you're here, feet are together, and a little bit of like kind of a quarter squat. Okay, don't let your pelvis, don't let your soup bowl dip out. Right. So you're here. So those are our pal-off press progressions, regressions. Now that is a great movement. It's a great anti-rotation movement, but there's another one that I personally think is tougher than all of them. This is a Stuart McGill favorite. It's physio ball pot stirrers. This is gonna be hard because there's practically no air in this ball, but it's a tough position. It's one of those things where you hand it or you do it and you're like, oh, this looks easy, just go like this on a physio ball. And you start doing it and it's hard as hell. Again, broken record. These 2 points together, you're going to start in a plank on the ball, this very, very deflated ball that we stole from the New England Patriots. And you're going to you're going to make small circles, okay? Go about 5 to 8 each way. This is a great stability exercise, so as opposed to this can be kind of in between coming off the ground, then you could go quadruped, then you could do tall kneel, half kneel, standing and all that. This is a great standalone warm-up or something you could do at the end of your workout. I personally love this move. So those are the anti-rotation movements. Anti-lateral flexion. What's lateral flexion? We went over that, right? Here and here. Basically, you'll start on the ground. So again, you might notice a theme of all of our core movements here. You start from the ground, start from the bottom, then you're here, right? You start from the ground, then you're up. Now, you'll start with a side plank. 2 different things you can do with a side plank. This is up to you, okay? There is a short lever side plank, which legs at 90, okay? I'm gonna be here, everything's lined up. Head, hips, knees. Think one straight line down my body, right? So you're gonna be here, bridge up. That's side planking, short lever. Then of course, there's the famous feet stacked, feet side by side. So here. So, those are side planks. We're starting on the ground, right? So first, anti-lateral flexion standing, right? Hold a kettlebell on one side with the other side free. This is a suitcase carry. Looks like you're carrying a suitcase, correct? So, I'm just gonna walk, slow, steady, 10. Okay? Make sure you get both sides, switch hands, come back. Now from there, racked carry. So you're here with the kettlebell, just like you're gonna press it. Same thing, walking, walking. Make sure to keep this engaged, right? Free side, you're squeezing it down. Switch hands. Walk back. Then some people may not be able to get overhead, but if you can, this overhead carry is a great variation, okay? So if you could get overhead and keep rib cage down, this is definitely a move you can do, okay? But if your client goes to go overhead and this happens, don't load this. Don't hand them a kettlebell in this horrible position, right? So what you're gonna do is go up. Same thing, I'm just gonna walk. For longer distances than I'm walking right now, but we have limited space. So here, switch sides. Those are our anti-lateral flexion movements.
Want more of the Strength Students podcast? Go check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, make sure you leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and on Stitcher. Stitcher, I just met her.